Hi, this is Julie. Welcome back to my channel. So we're getting ready to go to court. Brittany's asking me all of these questions, like, what are they gonna do? What does that mean for them? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what the judge's decision is gonna be. And I told her I'd assumed it would be very similar to like a divorce. So we would share custody, right? And she was like, well, does that mean that we're going to have to go live with them? I was like, I don't know what decisions they're going to make. I didn't know what their dad was going to ask for. And this was the first time I ever been through this situation. I didn't know legally what he had the right to do and what I had the right to do. All I could do was take the custody papers up there, that the temporary guardianship papers, the letters from CPS. And the only thing I could do. And I told them, I said, if you want your voice heard, you can always write letters. That's because she was asking me, could they go? And I was like, I don't think so. I'm not sure. So her and my other son, they wrote letters saying that, they did not want to go live with their father. And it wasn't being malicious. It was just they didn't know him. And they were comfortable and stable, and they didn't want to move again. They wanted the opportunity to build a relationship with him, but they didn't want to go live there. And, I understood that, but when I pulled all the papers out and gave them to the lawyer, I could see like he was upset that they wrote the letters. The lawyer read the letters. And I got exclusive conservatorship over them, which meant I had more legal right to them than either one of their parents. The lady was telling him, because he had child support ordered with her, and she put retro child support on him, which means that, and I'm going to have to break this up. This is going to be a super long video. I'm so sorry. It's probably going to be a bunch of parts. She told him, if the kids have ever lived with you for any period of time, we could take some of the back child support off from her, because they had seen how much she hadn't been involved in her life. And I was telling them, from everything that I knew, she didn't have them. Even before they came to my house, they would just be kind of from pillar to post. She would drop them off with strangers, drop them off with just various people, because that's just the way she moved. Even the people at CPS told me that that was kind of her pattern, not to be surprised if she came back and tried to get them. So when CPS got involved, and Brittany had called, she didn't want to go back with her mother. She was tired of living like that. She wanted some stability in her life and for her brothers as well. So when that happened, it changed things for them. But when we were there, I allowed him to, he kind of looked at me like, can I say something? And I was like, I allowed him to sit there and lie. And he said that the kids had lived with him for 3 years just to help him out. And, I never told him he couldn't see the kids. I never told him that he couldn't come pick them up. Even before we got custody, which ended up being joint custody, even though I had exclusive conservatorship over them, it was basically set up like your standard divorce, where I was a custodial parent, he was a non-custodial parent. We, alternate holidays, and he get them every other weekends and all this other stuff. But before this happened, I had tried to get him to come get them, and for the summer. And he was like, no, because my other 2 kids aren't going to be here. I'm like, well, where are they going to be? He was like, at the Boys and Girls Club. And I was like, well, if it's a money issue, I was telling him, I was like, if I give you their insurance cards, they can go for like either $10 for both of them or $20 for both of them. He was like, oh, okay. And I'm telling him, I was like, I'll give you the money, so it's not something that you have to worry about. It's just a one-time fee. I'll pay it. I send him the insurance cards, then come get them. So then he tried to tell me that if I would drop the child, he wanted the kids to stay with me, but he wanted me to drop the child support. And I was just like, no, like, I'm already taking care of my 4 children. I'm not going to do that. And the entire time I had not, and even like, and I don't know how the child support attorney general's office does it, because he does owe to me and her. So I even still don't get it all the time. You know, I don't know how they decide who gets what whenever he makes a payment. I don't know. And there have been times when I haven't gotten anything at all. You know what I'm saying? And it was mainly always me taking care of them with no help. My family wasn't giving me money to take care of them and all this other stuff. And that's fine, because like I said before, that wasn't the issue. You know, when I made a decision to keep them, I was like, God, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to trust you to work it out, because I know you brought them here for a reason. So I just left it at that. And I continue to live my life and do for all of my kids the way that I always do. So Brittany and I, Brittany did not want to, she was like a super good in school, like always made good grades. Both of the boys were a year behind, struggling with their grades. So, you know, from the outside looking in, it just seemed to me like the boys struggled in school because of all the things they went through. But Brittany kind of used school as her, you know, stability in her life, something that was normal. And she was super smart. She was very talented. She could sing, you know, very creative person. She was a lover. Like, she just, when Brittany hugged you, she hugged your soul. Like, she just, that's the way she was. And so we started having problems the older she got. Like, she wanted to do things, and Brittany was kind of the type that if I had a rule, she wasn't just blatantly, she was very sneaky and she would do stuff. She was not a good liar. I could always tell when she's lying. So maybe that's not true. I mean, she, for me, being the person I am, she couldn't lie to me. I have discernment, first of all, and I can tell. Secondly, I've been a mom for too long before you ever came in my house, you know, and I wasn't drunk or high. You know, I lived my life very soberly. So, you know, and I'm not bashing anybody who drinks or does whatever they do. I'm just saying, me, that's not what I do. So she, we started having issues, you know, and it's nothing like just out the way, but she started doing a lot of things. And I don't want to get into all of that, because I'm not here to bash my daughter or anyone. But the way I saw it was, she was kind of being an adult, forced into being an adult before she came to my house, because their mother would leave them at the house alone with no food. Sometimes the electricity was off in the house. Sometimes the water wasn't on in the house. But she would still get her and her youngest brother ready, and they would go to school every day, you know. And she was having to kind of play those dual roles. Even though she was a kid, she was having to take care of herself and her brother. And my oldest son just kind of would leave the house and do whatever he wanted to do. So it was kind of like them two were like this. She kind of, when she first came to the house, that was like her child. And I used to have to tell her all the time, Brittany, like, it's okay. I'm a mom. I'm going to take care of you two. You don't have to do that. She was always worried about him. And she kind of was always like, she just mama himmed all the time. And they're only a year apart. So it's not like he was a lot younger than her. She was just used to looking out for her brother, and she loved him. You know, that was the closest person to her. Brittany's very emotional, and so is the oldest, my other son. My younger son, he's not emotional. I'm not saying he doesn't have emotions, but he doesn't react off of emotion. He's a thinker. Will surprise you, because he was very quiet, and he has come a long way. He used to be kind of awkward and uncomfortable when you would hug him, and he wasn't used to that, and I could tell it kind of bothered him. But, you know, now it's not the thing. He was very, very quiet. I've never seen him cry until she passed away last week. And he's about to be 18 on this Saturday. she and him were like thick as thieves, and he meant the world to her more than anybody on this planet.